Light onto my path, lamp onto my feet. Broke me out the matrix, woke me out my sleep. Through all the dark times, you stood right there with me. Thought I chose you, but on the cool, you chose me. You are Yahuwah, and you never change. I see my people switch up, but you remain the same. Fell on my face, you picked me up, gave me forgiveness. Living in this dog-eat-dog world, around my people, I can feel the difference. Praying for strength, I will teach us your ways. On this path of worship, obedience and praise. Look deep past the surface, just to see what's surface. Know your purpose, learn how to break these curses. Practice makes perfect, victory is preparation. Straight and narrow, that's the road, so pack light on the road to salvation. Consuming fire, eternal flame. All esteem Yahuwah, wonderful is your name. Yeah.
Everything I do it for you. Everything I do it for you. Everything I do it for you. Yeah. Everything I do, yeah. I do it for you. I do it for you. I do it for you.
Got everything you've done that you did for me. About appreciation, showing you true. How through my obedience is how I reciprocate. And offering up the sacrifices of my lips as I praise, and I give you thanks. I give you thanks. I give you thanks. With uplifted hands, I'm doing my dance. Yeah, yo, it's grand. Y'all cause me stand. Yeah, your presence is fullness of joy. You have the praises of all of your people. You are giving us true knowledge to overcome the presence of all evil. To defeat the root of heaviness, I'll get my garments on. To the Rabbi YAH, this is my praise song. Don't stand too close to me, cause this is a praise song. Unless you really wanna get your praise on. And blaze on, let's go and get it. To Yah's words, we stand committed. We ain't faking and we ain't kidding. We fastly far from hypocrite. We expect the righteousness to get it. I keep going and run their course and tell them how the Abba's feeling.
Everything I do it for you. Everything I do it for you. Everything I do it for you. Yeah. Everything I do, yeah. I do it for you. I do it for you. Everything I do it for you. Everything I do it for you. Everything I do it for you. Yeah. Everything I do, yeah. I do it for you. Do it for you. Everything I do it for you. Everything I do it for you. Everything I do.
Psalms, Tehillim, 23. Yah was my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still water. He restores my nefas. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yeah, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for Yahweh is with me. His rod and his staff shall comfort me. He prepares a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of Yahweh forever.
As I live and breathe, defy the mandate, defy the means. Use spiritual discernment to help you see. In his house of many mansions, you have a key. Warmth of the sun reminds me. scriptures pulsating through my mental. Tomorrow isn't promised, nothing coincidental. So in this moment, I give him praise. Yeah, he the reason that I got sunshine on a cloudy day. Yo.
I got sunshine on a cloudy day. When it's cold outside, I got the month of May. I guess you say, what can make me feel this way? My love,
Yeah.
my love, my love.
Grace and mercy is needed. It's given, so it must be reciprocated. Deliverance and healing for the nation. Things I'm contemplating as I watch Israel through my windshield. Yeah, I see y'all in everything. Call me crazy, but if he pulled me out the darkness, could he save them? Maybe. Under this firmament, nothing's permanent. Uncertain of the day that he returns, but still the fires of my altar burn. Searched all over and I couldn't find nobody greater. There's none like you. You permeate the darkness, washed away all my transgressions. In due time, feel the sunshine.
I got sunshine on a cloudy day. When it's cold outside, I got the month of May. I guess you say, what can make me feel this way? My love, my love, my love.
I came down off the mountaintop, feeling brand new on this reset, set apart. Practice with the moves, moving with a purpose, praying for y'all's protection when I'm moving through the sections to deliver his message. I weather the storms, never sit in the seat of the scorn. Rise to the shofar in the morn. I was sent to perform songs of praise and worship and warn the wicked of their impending doom. Elephant in the room, Amos 3:3, take a walk with me. Not your favorite act. I'm in your city, but you won't see me on every block. I got love for all the family across the map. The commandments of Yahuwah, Elohim taught me that once you tied in, no turning back. I made a choice and got a burning coal on my tongue. Abba, forgive us for our sins, cause here we come with fervent prayers.
I got sunshine on a cloudy day.
Cloudy days.
When it's cold outside, I got the month of May. I guess you say, what can make me feel this way? My love, my love, my love. I got sunshine on a cloudy day. When it's cold outside, I got the month of May. I guess you say, what can make me feel this way? My love, my love, my love.
All right, shalom, shalom to the brethren. Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me, sis?
Khan, we can hear you.
All praises.
Oh, praise.
We in here.
We in there.
We are in
Yes,
here.
yes.
Y'all's Word on the Street podcast.
Shalom, shalom, everybody.
Sorry with all you YouTubers. YouTube kicked us off. We on punishment for
Slacky.
30 to 90 days. Anywhere, somewhere in between there. They don't like us talking about old COVID. They don't like us using the C word and the V
Not at
word.
all.
You know,
And the V word.
they don't like it. They don't like it.
I
You know, they
agree.
said we're trying to be doctors,
All right.
but that's not the case. Well, I hope everybody's having a tube day. tube night. It's a good night, a good day.
Con. Our day has been eventful, but tube. So we've been chilling for the most part. We went to the park and stuff, had an itty bitty bit of fun. So it's been kind of cool. We've been chilling, kicking it for the most part. So
What does eventful mean?
Eventful, just we did a lot of stuff. Like we did a lot of stuff. That we lost his first tooth.
He's growing up. He's becoming a young man.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, he's gonna be smelling himself, as they say down south.
Listen, and literally smelling. I'm gonna be like, go wash your butt. Put some deodorant on.
Mm-hmm. Yes, those prepubescent years.
Okay. Did you find it?
Well,
okay, don't worry about it.
We didn't really. We did some studying. For some people it's Shabbat today. It was for us.
Shalom. For those of us observing today.
We did some studying, some chilling. We got into that Psalms 119 today.
Ooh, that's a long one.
It's always good to analyze King David's mindset. That we just his humbleness towards Yah. A man that got the world at his feet. Solomon had what David had as far as having all of Yasharal at his use, right? But he didn't really have to go off to fight wars and all that, but David did. And when you go off and you do this stuff and you win, it could make a certain kind of a cockiness, right? Think about it. If you had all the NFL, all the black NFL players, you had all the NBA players, all the wrestlers, the black people in these things, the super strong, superhuman people behind you, and they are willing to die for you, it can make certain people cocky, right? But David was just so humble, man. You go and read Psalms 119, man, and it just shows how humble he was, and asking y'all to teach him and to guide him and to show him what he don't know. He never assumed to know everything. He was always like, what I don't know, show me, teach me, guide me, so that I could do better, so I could teach others and show others your word. And Psalms 119, man. If you ever get the chance, go check it out. Go read it, study it. And that's what we was on.
My favorite verse in Psalms 119 is verse 71, because it states how it was too for me to be afflicted, or else I would not have learned your laws. And dealing just with all sorts of situations, and my personal situation in which I have been dealing with, it's like, man, that could not be more true. Like, legitimately, it could not be more true. Like, it's so factual. And it's like, man, it really humbles you, because it's like, dang, Abba, I'm so ashamed that it took that for me to finally turn to you and get really serious about you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you had to afflict me to that degree, not only afflict me, but to that degree, in order for me to finally snap out of it and give you your due esteem. And so, we talk about all the time on this podcast how this walk is not a walk of pride. This is not something to be big-headed about. This is not something to esteem yourself about. This walk is a walk of humility. And in reading these scripts, it should bring about humility and meekness, because this is the way, the truth, and the life. This is what Hamashiach has shown us. So, every time I'm reading Tehillim 119, like that one just sticks out to me, because it's like, man, but it is too that I was afflicted, because then, where would I be? I wouldn't even be turning to you in the seriousness and in the fashion that I have really clung to you, had I not been afflicted. And it's just crazy.
That's actually his style. That's how we get down. That's why
because we stiff-necked. That's how we get down.
In the book of Baruch, chapter 2, it says, in the land of their captivity they will bethink themselves. Basically, when I afflict them, when I bind them in bondage, they're gonna think about their errors. They're gonna, return to me because ain't no other way out of your affliction but returning to me.
Right.
So, he's too, man, and of course I've been through some very traumatic experiences the past couple months, and it caused me to go deeper and think in certain ways concerning his word. And I'm thankful, man. It's crazy to say if you go back and you see pictures and you see things to be like, I'm thankful for that. But I am thankful for that.
Right.
Even prison. I'm thankful for all the times I was in prison because it was there that I had the time and opportunity to read his word. A lot of people too busy to get into scripture, and from my afflictions, I learned this word, just like David said. So yes, what we're gonna be talking about tonight, sis? What you got on the thing? Because I didn't really see
Man, I forgot what stories I put in the thing. However, my main focus today will be the Abrit word of the day and the segment words mean things. So I'm gonna kind of combine the two today because I want to talk about certain phrases that we even still use, and not to say that to throw the baby out with the bathwater, to like not do anything that we did in quote unquote Christianity, because I do still think that the worship aspect of Christianity is necessary in the right, in the right form to the right one. However, a lot of these cliche phrases like God is love and these things. So I really want to talk about the word God and bring out God is love and the correlation between that and some other phrases, because we went over love, we went over believe, and I kind of went through those. I'm gonna refresh it real quick. Okay. I don't know what my daughter was talking about. Okay, come on. Oh, excellent. Barak Yahuwah. She said her tummy feels better. Oh, it was gas. Oh, what, girl?
All right.
I think it was gas. Oh, you said it was gas. You don't think it was? It was? Did you poop? No.
Why does it say this was deleted? Indigenous heritage. What are you talking about? Deleted. What got deleted?
This looks like a fin.
It does look like a fin. But yeah, so I'm gonna be talking about the word G-O-D. And essentially why we shouldn't be calling Abba that. I feel like it's just not what we should call him. And I'm gonna show you why. So that's what I'm bringing out.
Your Hebrew.
I'm gonna tie it into that because it's Abrit for God.
Mighty one. All.
Yeah.
Will.
Yep. Nope. It's Gad.
Gad.
Which is God. The pronunciation.
No, I'm talking about the Hebrew version. What?
Well, I'm not gonna do. I mean, I guess I can do all, but I was going to tie them both in together because there's Hebrew aspects of Gad that tie into that, which is what I'm going to bring up.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
Pew, 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 pew. Well, I'm going to be talking about some things, quite a few things. It really has to do with the state of the world. It's really going to be, it's going to be kind of like a party pooper episode on my end. We got a lot of sad things we're going to be talking about today. A teacher and her cop husband were caught in a with many child sexual assault charges. Her husband saw fit to put sperm in cupcakes that she
sperm
made.
In the cupcakes?
Yes, sperm in the cupcakes. crimes. Louisiana teacher pleads guilty to giving students cupcakes laced with semen. We're gonna be talking about U.S. truckers launch People's Convoy in COVID-19 pandemic. For those of you who don't know, Canada is in a martial law due to the truckers shutting down different cities in Canada. And apparently truckers in the USA are trying to do the same thing. All of the places you still have to wear a mask as COVID restrictions are loosened. Man, I forgot to share it. There was this one thing which I might not be able to share because I don't know if I could still find it. But there was a couple that went to a party to get high, and they brought their daughter with them to the party to get high. And while they were at the party getting high, they died. So their daughter is an orphan, and 3 other people died at the party as well. So they got some bad dope. Yeah. So they went and bought some dope. It was bad dope. 3 people OD'd and died, and they had their daughter there.
Why would you bring it?
They didn't have a babysitter, but they still had to get high. I'm gonna see can I find that story, but
please do. Matter of fact, I'm gonna bring the story out since you doing stuff regarding children. I'm gonna bring the one out that I've been waiting to bring out too.
And we got another. I want to say because I had to check myself last night when I found out about it. I got really emotional, and I started saying things that if the story is not true, I ought not to say. But there is a story down in Georgia of a member of a well-known assembly possibly being caught up in what do you call it? Child sexual some charges involving sleeping with children with a child. And we're gonna bring that story out to you just so you'll know and have the information. I have to refrain from judgment until it gets more confirmed, but it's really bad. This is kind of like a high-ranking member of this group, and I'm surprised it took this long because this story is like 2 weeks old, and I just heard about it last night. So we're gonna bring that out later as well.
Woo! This is gonna be a heavy one.
I'm telling you, this is a slow, rough episode here.
All right, well, let's get it.
Let's get prayed in, and then we'll bring out your words, and then I could do my stories first if you want to have time to find some stories.
I've got one, but it kind of correlates to yours, so you can still go first. Yeah.
Okay. First of all, shout out to the street team. Shout out to everybody tuned in. Indigenous Hair, Souk Out, Yasharal, BJ Hicks, Brew News, Light. Shout out to Brew News, Light. Indigenous Hair, Judges of Yasharal, our Kafa, who was on that first song, with Imanan, our Imanan. Just living my life for Yahuwah. Shout out. That is a very tube name you got there, sister. I think it's a sister, by the way. If it's an Ak, I'm sorry. But
we apologize. We ain't mean it.
We apologize. But shout out to y'all for joining us. We hope to bring some edification, bring some quote unquote entertainment without the pagan deals that might come with. We don't mean that. We might have to bring that out on a words mean things or something. But we hope to bring you enjoyment in your viewing of our podcast. So let's get prayed in here.
Because they about to go all the way away with this one. They got to go to the room.
Hopefully we won't be taken down. We're not going to be talking a lot about COVID today.
No Jibby Jabs to be stabbed.
Many episodes. This is episode 32. You want to know our opinions on COVID and the negative things that has to do with COVID. Episode 1 through 30. We got plenty.
For real though.
Yeah, so
Alrighty.
the children are going to be saying the quote unquote Lord's Prayer in Hebrew and Abrit, right? My sister is a teacher of Abrit, and she teaches children Abrit. She teaches them many other things. She has an online school, benayashalom.com is where you can go find out more information about that. If you'd like your children to learn how to speak Hebrew, get registered at benayashalom.com. And she don't only teach Abrit. Tell them about your school, sis.
All righty. So here, Binaya Shalom. I'm just playing. No, but really, we do pretty much everything. We aim to return to the ancient past. So that's not only the study of the language, it's the study of the culture. It is getting back to agriculture. We do plant identification. We do animal husbandry. We do foraging. We do water purification, archery, even weapons safety training. Now, of course, the children do not handle any of the weapons, but people come in and we talk about weapons safety, and we talk about what to do with the weapons, how to handle the weapons safely. And of course, these are very small children. So like I said, they don't actually handle the weapons, but they do actually shoot the arrows. So in the archery aspect, we want to be able to train them in all aspects, and not only have the basic foundation of the preschool and governmental educational requirements, but we go above and beyond to teach them the language and the word of Abba Yah, so that when they get old enough to actually read the scriptures themselves, they are at a huge advantage to be able to decipher and determine and translate the words that Abinu Yahweh has written for themselves. So they essentially will be able to, at a very early age, begin to cut out the middleman completely. And I personally think that that's important, because as we go throughout our Abrit words of the day, I think you guys will all see it. Abrit is solidified, it's concrete, it's not esoteric like love. It's something actionable, it's something you can actually do. It's an action. Every word is an action, every letter is an action. And so I think that attests a lot to how we are actually supposed to be living in Abinu Yahweh. And when he gives us certain laws, statutes, and commandments and instructions, it's not simply, oh, love your neighbor as yourself. Oh, this means that you just love them. It means to actually do something, and they will have a greater understanding to bring about those actions, to actually love their neighbors, or ahab their neighbors rather, as themselves, and to follow the law, statutes, and commandments in a very precise manner that Abba has instructed. So they're gonna be like light years ahead, and that's the whole.
I want to point out something.
Yeah.
I want to point out something to the people that might not know or understand. Talking about Abrit, talking about Hebrew. Okay, the Bibles, the most famous book ever in the history of the earth.
Okay.
The Old Testament mostly was translated from what she's talking about. You have different versions of Hebrew. You got the ancient, the paleo, which is what the ancient Abrit, which is what Sus deals with, also known as the pictograph. That's what Sus deals with. Then you have the modern, which is more just like lines and things like that, which she's educated in as well, kind of, sort of, right?
Yeah, we go
Right.
over. I go over both of them really to get more just acquainted with them, so we can kind of go back and forth. But really, if the children can go either way, so if they want to learn modern Hebrew later, it's nothing to switch to those letters, because all you have to do is then recognize what the letters actually look like. But the basis of it is the meaning of the letter. I want them to understand the meaning of the letters, because that is the key. That is what is important in translation.
Right. And the Bible was translated from this. So, but it's translated in whoever the translator was opinion of those words, and a lot of it, depending on knowing the culture and the speak of the people, it can be mistranslated.
Right.
So if you don't know what these words are, you have to trust the translator pretty much. So what Sister's doing is showing the children, how to go in and translate these things for themselves, which is beautiful. It's called independence. It's called self-efficiency. And not only should the children learn it, but we as adults should learn it. And this is our original tongue. If we believe that we are the people of the people talk and spoke and wrote in this language. And it is a return not only to our culture and our heritage, but to our language as well. So,
hallelujah.
All right.
All
Where them
listening
kids,
to Hallelujah.
where them kids at?
They are here. Now we is over here reading a book behind me. Zazi's over there. I don't know what she doing. Come on, you want to pull out in? Oh, you sleepy now? Come on, let's pull out in and I'll finish your ginger tea. I'm making her some ginger tea. That's really what she's waiting on.
See, they're different breed of children. They're waiting on ginger tea
for her gas, right?
For her gas. They different. They raised different. I'm trying to tell you, they smart. They talk like they grown. That's what a little breast milk and Torah will do for you.
Okay, I'm telling you. I am telling
Look
you.
at them all skin all bright and stuff. They don't eat no candies or none of that. They eat grapes, veggies.
You silly. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, so loud so everybody can hear you, okay?
Okay.
All right, Rashid.
Abinu Sabah Shamayim Yitkudash Shamka Tabua Malkutka Yasha Vatsunka Kaba Shamayim Kanba Avat Atlakam Hakunutan Lanu Hayum Usalak Lanu Al Hatainu Kapi Sasul Kimgam Anachnu Achat ayim lanu, ual tabianu lidina sainu, ki amkasanu manhara, ki laka hamam laka, uhadabua, uhatap arat, aumi, aulani. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. That's great.
Hallelujah.
My little sister's not feeling it today.
She is not. She got gas and she went on her ginger tea. She's like an old woman.
Come on now. Don't be
But
like
she won't
that.
even turn around. She is
Y'all's
like,
word on the street ain't did you like that. Talk to the people. Wave. Wave to the people one time.
Wave to the people.
We care about you. Hey, Zazie, shalom. We hope you feel better.
Okay.
We allow with you. We stand in agreement with you. Feel better.
With your healing. Indeed. Hallelujah. Indeed. All righty. Well, with that said, I will go ahead and get started.
Puddle instead of water.
A puddle. That's okay. All right, head on upstairs. Oh. To the room. I'll bring your tea upstairs when I'm done, okay, Mama?
Why do we need to go to our room?
Because we gonna be, I guess you can stay for this one for God. Okay, but when we start talking about the other stuff, y'all gotta go. Y'all gotta go play. All righty. That's right. That's right. So, shalom, everybody. Today we are going to do another segment of Words Mean Things, along with the Abrit word of the day. I'm kind of tying them all in together. So if you were with us during the last two broadcasts, I talked about the words love and believe in our words mean things segments, which were words that I don't think that we really should be using in certain contexts. Like we shouldn't be talking about love in a YALI form, because that's not what it is. So I'm going to simply, Salaki Abba, I'm going to simply go over that very briefly for anybody that had missed the last two presentations on what love is, because I want to tie that in with the very popular phrase, God is love. And this ties into why we should not be calling Abinu Yahweh God, because that is not only simply a title. I know that a lot of us are like, oh yeah, it's simply a title, It's actually much deeper than that, and it's actually much more than that, and we will get into that. So, like I said, I am going to share my screen and get into a brief overview of the word love and the etymology of it. If you're not familiar with what etymology is, B, can you? Yep, Toda. It is the origin of the word. So it is not simply a dictionary. It is where the word actually stems from, where it comes from, the origin of the word. Okay, so actually, let me go back a little bit just so y'all can see how I got there. So here we have the word love. Go all the way down to the bottom of this paragraph. The Germanic words are from pi root, so the base root of lub. Here's this word lub right here. And what I really want to focus on are these words right here: libido, pleases, desire, longing, sensual, passion, lust, feeling of love, romantic, sexual attraction. So those are the things that are associated with the word love. Okay, this is where the word love comes from. This is the root of it. And so when we talk about love in a YALI fashion, this is actually extremely far from it. As we can see, this is completely out of the realm of a YALI or righteous thing. This is straight Hasatan, straight desire, straight lust. It really doesn't have much to do with acting and behaving righteously in Yahweh. So, with that being said, that quick, brief overview of the word love. Now, we often go a lot with shalom. I didn't ask you about that. I told you to go upstairs. Thank you. Now, with this word, I want to talk about, like I said, about the phrase God is love, right? So, with this phrase, now that we understand what love is, we understand that Yah is not love. Okay. Yah is not some passionate, lustful desire. It is not, he is not sensual. He is not libido, any of those things that directly has to do with the flesh. And so we know that in turn he is not. So what then are we saying? All right. So here's the kicker. Yah is not love, but God is love. And I'm going to explain to you what exactly God, or who exactly God is. So now we have a lot of different phrases that we kind of use and throw here and there. God is love, God is da-da-da-da, God is da-da-da-da-da-da, right? So as you all are familiar, on the US of A currency, there is a phrase on the very back of it that says, in God we trust, right? Well, if America is not what we think it is, so we all know this is, Babylon is not only one place. Babylon is an entire system, but we know for a fact that essentially America is Mitzrayim. They all come from a very, very distinct system and Babylonian rulership of wickedness, right? So why would they have God, in God we trust, on the back of their currency? Well, obviously they are not speaking about our Aluwa. They are speaking about a completely different entity. And I am going to prove that to you right now. So I have right here my scriptures. This is my TS 2009. And I really, really, really enjoy these scriptures. For one, because they translate from the Hebrew rather than the Latin Vulgate of the KJV. And so you get a better translation, honestly. Now, they don't translate from Abrit, they translate from the Hebrew and the Nikud system. So, anything that's translated, there are going to be things that are lost in translation. It's not a perfect book, but I do really enjoy it because I think that it writes things plainly. And not only does it write things plainly, it's simply a better translation, in my opinion. So I really like this book. Also, in the back of this book, it has a lot of information on different words and things. So I'm going to go to the back of my book for this information that they have so kindly placed in here. And I'm going to turn to the word God in the explanatory notes. There's explanatory notes in the back of this. There's also pictures of what the temple looked like, what the priestly robes were, how the tribes of Yasharah were set up at the bottom of Mount Sinai, and things like that. So it's pretty cool. So here we see God, right? And when we see God, it says, see Gad. I know you guys probably can't see that, but it says see Gad, right? So what is Gad? Like, why is it telling me to see Gad? What is Gad? So we turn, and I'm just going to read this for y'all really quickly. It says, apart from Gad, the son of Jacob. So we all know that Gad also was the son of Jacob, right? And I'll get into that scripture also a little bit later. So apart from Gad, the son of Jacob, there was another Gad, the astrologers of Babylon, right? Called Jupiter or Zeus by the name Gad. Zeus, Jesus, little Zeus. Y'all following me? I know you are. He was also well known among the Canaanites, where his name was often coupled with Baal Gad, which according to the Masoretic vowel pointing to the book of Joshua, is pronounced Baal Gad. Okay? Baal God, Lord God. Okay? So when you hear people saying Lord God, Lord God, Lord God, this is actually who they're talking about. Okay? This same name is discovered in the ancient Germanic languages as Gott, Goda, God, God, Good, Gade, Gad, where the A rhymes with the letter U, as in mud, ud, good. This is actually also where they get the word good from. So you will often not hear me say that word either. We usually say tube or great or try to replace it with something else. You in mud is used as a proper name in Yesh. In Yeshua 65 and 11, or Yeshayahu Salaki, as a reference to the deity of fortune. So in Yeshayahu 65 and 11, it is a reference to the deity of
Isaiah.
fortune.
That's Isaiah.
Yes, Salak. That's Isaiah. Yeshayahu is Isaiah. And searching further back into this Indo-Germanic or Indo-European roots. Indo-European roots. Absolutely, DJ Hicks. That's also what Jesus translates to as well. Absolutely. Jesus is little Zeus or Hail Zeus. We find it traces back to the word God, good, which means union, even sexual union. God is love, sexual union, lust, desire. We just went over love, right? No wonder this meaning is still evident in the Dutch and Germanic gade. So this is actually a word, G-A-D-E, that is still very much present in the Dutch and Germanic languages. Gade, which means sexual union, lust, a sexual attraction, right? All right, so
Have you noticed that all of this stuff comes from Caucasian people, Germanic, Dutch, Latin?
God
It's
is love.
all white people stuff. I'm just saying.
God is love. Okay. So, yes, God is love. God is not Yahweh. So, let's keep going on because we've got more. Now, as we read in this text, I'm actually going to turn to, I think it's Bereshit or Genesis 30. I'm almost positive that's where Leah and Rachel and the handmaidens were naming the children that they were competing to have. Oh, Abba. Toda Abba, for your kindness and making 12 tribes out of that. Let's see. It is 30. I'm positive because I've looked this up so many times. So lucky, y'all. Give me. Oh, okay, there it is. Bereshit or Genesis chapter 30, verse 11. And Leah said, fortune comes. Oh, how fortunate, right? Fortune comes. So she called his name Gad. So Gad means fortune. All right. Now, remember this and remember that Hasatan likes to copy. So it doesn't necessarily mean that this Gad is somehow brought forth of wickedness. But what it does mean is that these names were absconded and taken and placed on to false mighty ones by the Canaanites, by Babylonian rulers and false worshipers, right? So I know, yuck, right? I said yuck. So that was Bereshit 30 and 11, if you guys want to retrace that, okay? Now I'm going to go to Yeshayahu or Isaiah 65 and 11, which is what we had referenced earlier while I was reading the explanatory passage. And we're going to kind of go over, this is going to explain a lot. This is also why we do not say, I try not to say money. We say currency instead, and I will read this to you and kind of explain why. Now, again, this is my personal conviction. I'm not shaking my finger at you telling you that you should not be using these words, okay? I'm simply informing you, as I have been instructed to do per Abinu Yahweh, just simply, Salak, that you are aware so that you can make the decision on your own whether or not, it's something that you personally want to follow through with or not. Okay, so 65 and 11. This is Isaiah 65 and 11. But you are those who forsake Yahweh, who forget my set apart mountain. He's talking about the wicked people in Yasharal. The ones who sit among the burial sites and spend the night in secret places, who eat flesh of pigs and so on and so forth. So the ones that are acting to be, I know, yeah, mama. The ones who are falsifying everything. So again, but you are those who forsake Yahweh, who forget my set apart mountain, who prepare a table for Gad, fortune. And when you look at these altars, you'll notice that even in today's culture of these deity worships, you will see these altars and they place money on them. They place currency on them. This is exactly what it's talking about. Let me continue on. You who prepare a table for Gad and who fill a drink offering for many. This, I think, I have been led by the Rook, is where the word money comes from, because they're talking about the same thing here. They're talking about preparing tables for them, offering things up unto them. It's the same thing as like dropping coins into the well and making a wish. All of that is, we ain't supposed to be doing that. So yeah, that is 65 and 11. And it's talking about, if you will notice, it's not simply talking about, a title. This is an actual deity. This is something that the Babylonians and the Canaanites worshipped and gave sacrifices and oblation to, built altars to, and placed sacrifices and offerings on this altar to this false mighty one. So this is more than simply a title. This is not even a title. This is an actual false mighty one. So when we are referring to our Father by the false notion of this other mighty one, we are then violating Shamut 23 and 13. And I'm going to turn to that one as well, because this is the one that really personally convicted me to not do these things anymore, and to really try to work on my own personal speech and to control my tongue in that way, because we know that the tongue is a small rudder, right? Yeah. So Shamut, or Exodus 23 and 13 reads, and in all that I said, Salahi, and in all that I have said to you, take heed, pay attention, take heed, internalize it, right? And make no mention of the name of other mighty ones. Let it not be heard from your mouth. So not only is he instructing us in Shamut 23 and 13 to not even say the names of other mighty ones, which is why I usually say Salak Abba after I say the name of other mighty ones, simply for reference, to try to, get a point across. He also, says that there should be no other mighty ones before him, and that we should not take his name in vain. We should not bring his name to naught. So when we are calling him these false mighty ones that have no power, you are bringing his name to naught, because these things are nothing. These things are not. Literally, these things are non-entities. So when you are calling the supreme ruler, the almighty Aluwa, by these names of these false mighty ones, you are bringing his name to naught. We are in violation of the second commandment. So we really need to be careful when we are referring to our Father and his set apart Son as these other mighty ones, because they are not the same. These are not the same entities, and I cannot stress that enough. All right, so with that, I also want to go on, and I'm going to bring up this Wikipedia page that goes a little bit more into detail about this false mighty one, Gad. I'm going to share this page, and it's a quick search. You can find this on Wikipedia of who or what Gad is. Then I'm going to take it a little deeper. All righty. All right. So Gad Salak Abba was the name of the pan-Semitic god of fortune. Now, we read that already. Remember in Salaki, in Genesis 30 and 11, we read when Leah was naming Gad from the tribe of Gad, she said, "Oh, what fortune." So Gad means fortune. However, they have taken this and turned it into a false mighty one. You cannot worship Yahweh and Mammon. You cannot worship Yahweh and money, the fortune, the riches. And so this deity right here, Salak Abba, represents that. It represents literally the lust for fortune. Okay. And it's usually depicted as a male, but sometimes as a female, and is attested in ancient records of Aram and Arabia. Gad is also mentioned in the Bible as a deity in the book of Isaiah. We went over that 65:11, as having been worshipped by a number of Hebrews during the Babylonian captivity. So this is one of the ones, exactly as we read in Yeshayahu or Isaiah 65:11. This is one of the ones that we forsook Abba Yahuwah for. So for us to call him that, after we have forsaken him, and we had forsaken him in this captivity, for us to still be calling him that is, personally, is blatantly disrespectful, if you know. But this is why I'm bringing this out to you, because I have you, and I want you guys to be aware of what it is we are doing and how we are violating and disrespecting the Father without even maybe realizing it. And so it reads, yeah, it's almost ready, Nani. It's almost. Gad apparently differed from the god of destiny, who was known as Many. So when you offer this money onto the altar, you're changing your destiny. Oh, I'm gonna put this in. Does this sound like pastors to you, Christian pastors? Literally, put your money in the collection plate, and God is gonna bless you. You see where we're getting at? So, anyways, the root word of Gad means to cut or divide, and this comes from the idea of fate being meted out. So, Gad and Many, fate, fortune, destiny, these things all tie in together. These are separate entities. These are not Abinu Yahweh. All right, so I have one more slide to show you all that goes a little bit deeper into Gad and why also it is not only a Babylonian deity and where it kind of stems from, right? So now here we go. I'm going to share my screen again. And you think you slick. Look at him. Show him your tooth. It's gone. Y'all see that? My baby lost his tooth. I don't think they can see.
You got to
it. There it
smile
goes.
with it. Smile.
Smile.
Put your teeth together. There you go. That's how you do it.
My baby lost him tooth. We did the door trick. We tied a piece of little string, a thread to it, and pop, close the door. Pop right on that end of the leg.
That's old school right there.
Old school, right? I had to do it. I was waiting for it. Anyways, alrighty, let me share the screen. So, along with the false Babylonian mighty one of Gad, we have a character. Oh, I thought that was a bug. It's not a bug. A character. I don't know what to call him. Actually, I do. He's a fallen watcher, and he goes by the name of Gadriel. And Gadriel, you can find labeled and listed in the book of Hanuk, the book of Enoch, as one of the 5 Shatans or Hasatans. Now, excuse me, when you get into the Abrit, you know that Hasatan is not one individual. Hasatan literally means the adversary. So anybody, anything that's going against Abinu Yahweh can be a Hashatan at any moment in time. We have all been Hashatans at some point in our lives. This is why we are repenting and changing our ways. So Hashatan literally only means the adversary. It is not a name for one single individual adversary. It's not a name. Yes.
Because I like Enoch.
That's right. Yeah, that book is full of gems. So I'm going to share my screen that talks a little bit about Gadriel. Okay. And like I said, Gadriel was listed in the book of Enoch. It literally means wall of God. And it's he is listed as one of the chiefs in the fallen watchers. This is depicted in the 2nd section of the book of Hanuk or Enoch, labeled parables. He is said to have been responsible for deceiving Eve. Okay, so he is said to be the one that was in the garden that actually took over the serpent and deceived Eve. Like I said, Hashatan is not one individual. Hashatan means the adversary. So there are many Hashatans. And according to the book of Hanuk, Gadriel was mentioned as the 3rd of 5 Satans, okay, who led the other Malaks or angels into copulating with humans, leading to the creation of giant-like Nephilim. The others were called Yakon, Asbiel, Nume, Penume, Kasade, Chaldean. Yeah. Desire. It is not so, mute yourself, sir. So, as we can see, Gad is not Yah. God is not Yah. So it originally actually stems from the Watchers. It's not simply even a false deity. It goes deeper than that. It is literally a watcher, a fallen angel that has presented itself as a false mighty one and elevated itself to that position, being that Hasatan the adversaries rule the world. This is a principality, as as we refer to in Ephesians 6 and 11, one of the principalities and rulers in high places that is responsible for a lot of the chaos in the world. So yeah, that kind of concludes my presentation for the combination of words mean things and the Hebrew or Abrit word of the day kind of combined together. So this is why we should absolutely, not only, I personally don't think we should say God at all, but we should certainly, for a fact, not be calling Abinu Yahweh God in any form or fashion, because this is a completely different entity. So that's it.
At best, mighty one, power. It's a
Right.
lot of adjectives you could give them that you don't have to use God, right? Because if for no other reason than that they call these other things that, they call Zeus, that they call all the, Marvel comics and all these little characters, Thor, all this whole stuff. They call them that. So let's not confuse the creator of the heavens and the earth with them, right? In any level. So yeah, Toda for that, sis.
All listening
Well,
to Abinu Yahweh.
I found the story, and we're gonna get into it.
All righty, let me send them on.
The story about the people I said earlier at the top of the podcast. There was a story of a couple that went to a party to get high, and they took their daughter. And while they were getting high, they died. And now their daughter is an orphan, and her mother and her father are dead because they wanted to get high. And they got some bad dope. You know what I'm saying? A total of 5 people died at this party, from what I understood from earlier. I'm going to bring it out to you. We're going to read it together. I didn't read all of it. I had glanced over it, and I was like, man, I got to bring this out. Got to bring it to the people. So here we go. Newborn baby orphaned. Let's get all this other crap off of here. We don't want all this other stuff. Can y'all see that? Can you see that, sis? Oh, she's probably making tea. Newborn baby orphaned after parents took her to drug party where they died, along with 3 others. Thursday, 24th, 12:59 a.m. Aria Marquez, 4-month-old, has been left orphaned after her parents died at an apartment. It's like, man, like, you couldn't wait to get the baby out of you so you can go get high? She's 4 months old. A 4-month-old girl has been orphaned after her parents were among 5 people who died at a party. Aria Marquez was found near the bodies of her mother and father, Sam Marquez, 24, and Karina Rodriguez, 28, and 2 other women and a man. They had taken her to the party in Colorado and were discovered the following day. It is believed that they had taken fentanyl-laced cocaine. Sam's sister Cora was the only survivor and is in the hospital recovering, but does not remember what happened.
Wow.
A neighbor, Ian Scott, described Cora as high as a kite while holding Aria in her arms outside the unit on Sunday. A police officer said that Aria is in good health and doing well. Karina is also survived by an older son, Josiah, from a past relationship who appears in various family pictures. Scott looked into the apartment to find, Scott did? Who's Scott? That's the neighbor. The neighbor found him. Scott looked inside the apartment to find, he was there, nigga. What are you doing in the apartment? First off, you was in there. Scott looked inside the apartment to find Sam, Karina, Humberto, Ario, right, who, and two women who have not been identified but are apparently friends of Karina. Investigators found lines of a drug spread out inside the unit. District Attorney Brian Mason said it appears they ingested fentanyl. Fentanyl is not typically something that a user would ingest in a line. So I think they probably thought they were taking cocaine. Cora apparently told Scott she tried to revive one of her friends with an injection, but that Sam's stepsister arrived at the apartment to find 5 adults dead and the infant quiet. The baby wasn't crying at all, so she goes in the room. She must have heard Selena and the baby started crying. Sam's father, Dan Marquez, told ABC7, so I think maybe there was an angel or somebody there taking care of her. And that's the end of that one. So, that's a horrible story. Like I said, we really got to do better. You know, what kind of a mindset does a person have to have that, you know, they getting high with their little girl right there? True enough, they wasn't doing crack, they wasn't doing heroin, they thought they was doing a little coke. That's how people be. You know, it's just a little coke. Well, in this day and age, you know, people are selfish. People are out to get the mammon, to get the gad, like Sister said, they out to get the fortune. And to get the fortune, sometimes you got to cut corners. You know, they want to stretch. They want to make more money. So what they do, they add a little fentanyl to it and stretch it. And now you'd have bought something, you was getting one thing, you got something else, and now you're dead. And your daughter's an orphan. You know, this ought not to be done by us, Yasharal. Pretty soon they're gonna find a way to start killing people from weed. I don't see why they wouldn't. Everybody's doing it. It's acceptable. Nobody's gonna doubt it. You know, it's just a little weed. Just like the people say, it's just a little coke. Yeah, just a little weed, and they're gonna find a way to lace this stuff. If nothing else, because I've heard a lot of the marijuana lowers men's testosterone. You know, so yeah, that's one story. Let's see what else we got. Let's get into
That was hard to listen to, boy.
A little rough.
That's crazy. I was thinking it was like a little girl, like not like a 4-month-old newborn. Like that's crazy.
And she was like right there. They had her there. Apparently, it was at their house. They act like it was some big party or something. It's like, you know how in the hood, or not even just in the hood, when people get high together, it's always that place that everybody goes, that friend's house. They always home, or they able to kind of cater to everybody comfortably. You know, it's the party house. You know, it's the get high house. They over there playing Xbox, or they playing music or whatever. That's just the place that everybody goes to. That's what that seems like.
Right.
You know,
Yep.
everybody just gathered there. So, oh, let's get some coke. Let's call our guy. And he brought him over some of that wham bam.
Yep. That's
It's
exactly
the
what it
pill.
sounded like. He was talking about his sister was there, and you know, it's like they kicking it. They kicking it. That's really unfortunate, bruh. And then it's like, dang, I know they don't know that they went out like that, but it's like, dang, like that's not how you want to go out. It's not how you want to go out.
No. What are your grandparents going to tell you about your parents? Now, this right here, from the beginning, we told you how COVID is fake. What you're getting is you're getting regular diseases. And they said, no, it's an airborne contagion. You need your mask. You need gloves. What happened to gloves? You remember back when everybody was running around in plastic gloves? Right? They got rid of that. They had masks. They stopped the mask for a while, and then everybody went back to wearing masks. Now they're getting rid of masks again. Let's see here. Let's blow this up.
Mm-mm.
Face masks are increasingly becoming a distant memory of the COVID crisis, but they won't disappear, as personal choice means many will continue to use them as a precaution in the coming weeks and months. That means, my brothers and sisters, they are fully programmed.
Yes.
If they're going to come out and tell you you don't need it, but you still going to wear it, that means you're programmed. You have been Willie lynched. He said, my program is so good. If you do it right, it'll work for 1,000 years. So this going to work itself.
Right.
And this programming is working itself out. There are some places where face coverings are still encouraged or will remain mandatory, even if not enforceable by law. The requirement to wear a face mask in public indoor settings in England was dropped on January 27th. Wow. Now, the nation is moving towards, peep this, living with COVID. These heathens.
Sounds like a sitcom.
Living with it.
Living with COVID.
With remaining rules on self-isolation scrapped. Okay. Remember all this, you have to stay in for 14 days? Well, apparently that's over with now. People have personal responsibility to protect themselves and others from the virus, says Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who looks like a real creepo. He's like Trump without the personality. The places where you are encouraged to mask up are GP surgeries and hospitals. I don't know what GP stands for. Do you know, sis?
No, for whatever reason, general purpose is popping into my head. I don't think that's correct, though. I have no idea.
General purposes, general population popped into my head. I'm on some prison stuff.
Right.
NHS England has said patients will be required to wear face masks in GP practices and hospitals. In a letter published on February 23rd, it said there will be no immediate changes to infection prevention and control requirements, despite rules being dropped across the nation. Now, check these headlines out. Stealth Omicron subvariant up to 60% more contagious, but is just as mild. So what are we talking about? What are we talking about?
Really
it's
nothing.
But it's mild.
It also means general practitioner. I just looked it up. So
no.
Wow.
This includes the requirement for staff, patients, and visitors to wear a mask, face covering in healthcare settings, it said. The government says you are required to wear a face covering on entering these healthcare settings and must keep it on until you leave, unless you are exempt or have a reasonable excuse for removing it. I want to know what exempts you from wearing a mask. Because when the pandemic first started, that's what I was telling people. I'm exempt. It worked.
Of course you were. I wasn't even saying nothing. People was looking at me all sorts of crazy. I ain't care. You better say nothing.
Care homes. The government says care homes are a healthcare setting where face coverings are required. It says they must also be worn by everyone accessing or visiting care homes. You know what's crazy is why in some settings you don't need it, but in other places you do need it. Like, if I need it one place, I need it everywhere. If I really need it. If being around someone without it can get me sick, then I need it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so dumb how they got this stuff. Busy places. The legal requirement to wear a face covering no longer applies. So if you're in a busy place where it's a lot of people coming through, you no longer have to wear a face mask.
What type of backwards?
It's so dumb. It's just so dumb. That's why I said I got to bring this out. This is dumb. However, the government suggests that The government suggests that you continue to wear a face covering in crowded and enclosed spaces where you may come into contact with people you do not normally meet. It suggests. It was just mandatory. This could include a busy retail shop, an airport, or a place of worship, for example. Whether you choose to do this is a personal choice.
They finna start measuring how many people really done fallen for it. They need to count it up, see what they need to do, like their next plan, plot, and scheme. Okay, do we need to ramp it up? Do we need to scare more people, or do we have enough that are following into line that we can move forward with certain things?
I ain't gonna
They
do
trying to
something
measure
because
it
it's
up.
about to get hot and people about to be
Yeah.
outside.
Yup, they trying to measure it up.
Supermarkets. You don't need to wear a face covering when you go food shopping anymore.
This is stupid.
But
It's the food.
yeah, but many major retailers have encouraged staff and customers to wear a face mask if they are able to, since legal mandates have been drawn. Well, if I don't have to do it, what am I doing it for?
They gonna do it because they scared. They big scared.
This includes Tesco, Sainsbury. Hold on, I think this is like in Europe. I might be tripping. Yeah, this is all European stuff. I don't know why I thought this was in America. This is Europe. I'm sorry for wasting y'all time. But anyway, the London and Great Britain and all that, they have loosened their restrictions because it's all a bunch of bull crap. So write your local politician. London and Great Britain and all. Write your local politician and tell them we need to lessen it too. Europe don't care. Why do we? So said that's why I follow YAH and not man. BJ Hicks said, I believe we working up to the beast that was spoke of in Revelation, beast with 7 heads and 10 horns. Believe it's going to be a man-made disease, going to be the walking dead around here for real. We've definitely been talking about this on Y'all's Word on the Street podcast. My sister is a big proponent for the zombie theory, and I agree.
Oh yes.
We've told you about what's that powder stuff inside?
The oxide, graphene oxide.
Graphene oxide. We told you about the graphene oxide. It can make dead things move. We told you about they have capabilities to gut fish and pull all the guts out and put the fish in the water and it still swims. So there are already living dead things or dead things that move now because they've done something to it that caused dead things to move. So that's a real thing. You can doubt that it'll happen to humans. They've already done it to animals. And that's just, that just is what it is. But let's go here. We got another one. Let's talk about the semen in the cupcakes. Semen in the cupcakes. Now, I want to say this about this story, right? I remember hearing about this story. Now, this story, when they first got arrested, they weren't talking about semen and cupcakes. They came out later. When they first presented this story was about child sex trafficking in the sheriff department. Because the woman is a teacher at a school. And the husband is a part of the sheriff's department. When they first ran this story, like a year or so ago, they was talking about how they was like putting these kids out into like prostitution, or her and him was sleeping with the children. Now they got multiple charges that they're not talking about. They're only talking about the semen in the cup thing, and I mean in the cupcakes thing. But I think she turned on him and testified against. She divorced him and testified against him, so he's getting more time than her. But they flipped the narrative about the child sex trafficking thing. They're not even talking about the child sex trafficking stuff no more. When they first put this story out, they said child sex trafficking ring. Zebediah Boaz says, what the what?
What the what? I saw that too.
This woman is a elementary school teacher that brought cupcakes to her children laced with her husband's semen. So let's get into it. As you know,
This is
Caucasian
crazy.
Americans
But why
break it
even?
down.
Why?
Weirdness. Just want to be creeps.
Like,
Just
yeah,
want
it's like, do you get off on like watching the children eat the cupcakes, knowing that they got some in them? Like, you know, like what even? What would compel somebody to do this?
look at him. Look at him. She looks like she could be a transgender, but she's not. She's got a regular throat, but she's weird. And
Look at
he looks
that.
like a
She ain't
real
got no
creepo.
lips.
No lips. Looks like a monkey.
This is
But anyway,
disgusting. This is so disgusting.
viewer discretion is advised on this thing here. Louisiana teacher pleads guilty to giving students cupcakes laced with cop husband sperm. A middle school teacher in Louisiana is facing a prison sentence of 41 years after pleading guilty to several counts of sex crimes committed against children. Cynthia Perkins, 39. This broad looked like she close to 60. Look at this. She's 39 years old. Some people said something about aging in dog years.
Oh no, yeah, people do be saying it.
Was arrested alongside her husband, Dennis Perkins, in October 2019 and charged with 150 felonies. See, they're not talking about this stuff, man. They only talking about the little cupcake thing because it's clickbait. When this story first came out, they was talking about child sex trafficking in the sheriff department. I remember this story. 150 felonies, including rape, child pornography, sexual battery of a child, and video voyeurism. They're recording the kids naked so they can watch the tapes later. On Monday, Cynthia accepted a plea deal. She turned state evidence against her husband, which occurred hours before jury selection was set to begin for her trial, which resulted in the dismissal of 68 charges and an agreement to testify against her ex-husband, who is a former Livingston Parish Sheriff's Lieutenant. Did I tell you child sex trafficking in the sheriff's office?
Yep. That'd be the main place, man.
Cynthia Perkins' crimes include allegedly giving students cupcakes containing Dennis Perkins' sperm. The former teacher at Westside Junior High School initially maintained her innocence against the charges, alleging that Dennis, whom she divorced in the wake of the arrest, so you ain't arrest him, you didn't divorce him until y'all got arrested.
Right. Like, at least be loyal with your wickedness. Like, the least you could have done was like stay with that nigga. Like, for real. Like, you just all the way coward.
She says he manipulated her into committing the crimes.
How?
Look at the story. Look at the stories, man. Woman's boyfriend killed her baby while she was at work, yet a judge sent her to jail for murder. Like, this is the kind of stories I be seeing on my phone, and I be wanting to bring out a lot of this stuff, you know. But I mean, it's really sad. A lot of the news headlines. A lot of y'all don't know because a lot of us don't really watch the news like that because we feel like they be lying and stuff. But when you get like you know, stuff that I get notifications, and I get these notifications about this kind of stuff, and it's crazy, man. A lot of people killing children, a lot of men killing women. Like, it's bad out here, man. The state of the human condition is really horrible right now. However, she later confessed to making child pornography, second-degree rape, and mingling harmful stuff. You know, this pedophiles rarely get charged with rape, right? They get charged with, they get charged with sexual assault. But for them to call it rape, tells you it was worse. It was worse, right? And mingling harmful substances, which reportedly consisted of Cynthia mixing Dennis's sperm to season baked goods, giving them to the middle school students. I thought it was elementary, middle school students. Prosecutors on the case. So middle school is anywhere from what? 6 to the what? 8th grade?
Yeah. Yep, 6th to 8th grade. That's so bro. What?
So you talking about these kids are anywhere from what?
They're like
11
12.
years old to
Yeah,
13 years
11
old?
and 12 to like 14.
These
Maybe
are the
not even
children
that. She's
they gave
13.
sperm laced cupcakes to and that they did child pornography with
Oh my God.
and that they slept with. So I mean,
Baby,
this
and
is
these are teachers. Take your children out these schools and police
wait.
officers.
We got another story I'm gonna bring up after this about a person connected to the Hebrew movement. That was I don't know if he
Oh.
was a teacher or if he was like a coach or something in the school. We'll find out in the story. But same deal, you know. And his was worse because it's a 6-year-old in with special needs. That story is next. Stay tuned. Prosecutors on the case told Livingston Parish News that they had received the I'll call it what it is, the blessing from the juvenile victim's family to accept the plea deal. See, that's another thing. Ain't no plea deals. You gave my baby some damn sperm laced cupcakes. Y'all
Oh
been doing
no.
porn. I'm
This
not
is
taking
turned
no
into a
deals.
whole nother case. No, bro. This is gonna be turned into a whole nother case. Okay. I'm gonna be
Taking no damn
incarcerated.
plea deal.
Like,
But see,
this is not.
I think they had to have told them parents, we might not can win this case unless we get her to testify against him. You know, they could probably prove the whole cupcake deal, but everything else, if we don't get her, we're not going to be able to prove this case. That's the only reason I could think of. You could get these people to be like, yeah, she could get off. She could get off with 40 years instead of life, instead of the death penalty, which what some of these people deserve.
I mean, I guess if you really think about it, how old is she again? 39?
39.
So, I mean,
She's not
when
going
she
to do
get
all them
out,
40 years.
right?
She
Yeah,
might be
that's true. She be let out
25 and get
early
out
and
on parole.
parole.
Knowing
Ooh,
it's 40 years is a pretty long time in prison, is what the family said. Adding that the 3 charges Cynthia pleaded guilty to were representative of what she had done. Dennis, who had been promptly fired from the Livingston Parish Sheriff's Office following his arrest, where he worked since 2002, was the head of the
wow.
SWAT team, was indicted on 78 felony count. That means every house he raided, them people need to get their cases redone.
Right.
You are definitely not an upstanding member of the community with all this stuff going on.
For real though.
Man, the head of the SWAT
Bruh.
team.
Since 2002, bruh. That's 20 years.
Well, no, this happened in 2019. They got
That's
arrested.
still almost
So
20 years. That's 17 years.
years.
That's bruh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And who knows how long
No, they
y'all
were
been
first
doing this to
arrested in
kids.
2019. Look, it says 2019.
Yeah. That's what I said, 2019, 17
Oh,
years.
I thought you said, why did I think you said 17? Okay. But yeah. Ooh. Ugh. Gross.
Cynthia, who had resigned That's what I'm saying. She got to resign. She didn't get
Pop.
fired. She should have
Oh,
she ought to have charges pressed on her by the school. She got to resign from her job at West Side Junior High. And I'm pretty sure that's probably a black school. West Side Junior High. That sounds like it's a bunch of black people go to that thing.
I'm finna look it up. What city is this?
They was talking about he's at Livingston Parish. So I don't know what state that's in.
Probably Louisiana. Parish sounds like it's.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Livingston Parish Public Schools. Lowest grade is sixth
Cynthia,
grade. So go ahead.
Cynthia, who had resigned from her job at Westside Junior High School following her arrest, taught English language arts at the middle school since 2016. Prior to that, she worked at the North Live Oak Elementary and Live Oak Middle School for 4 years. Why she keep changing schools is another problem. You've been to 3 different schools. Cynthia and Dennis Perkins were first arrested in 2019. In October 2019, the couple were arrested after authorities found a photo of the pair naked with a minor after receiving a tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. First of all, how do you, if a person knows that somebody, they had to have been doing this with people.
Right.
And the people they did it with, somebody connected to them came up on this information and called them people. And that's why it came out as a child sex trafficking ring at first. Because there had to have been multiple people involved in this.
Right.
Cynthia's lawyer, James Spokes, called her agreement to take the plea deal the best possible outcome, adding that we weighed all the options and available information, and considering the circumstances, we really feel as though this was the best decision. Oh, of course you did. You made a nice little bit of money for nothing. She will also testify in Dennis's upcoming trial, which is set to begin May 2022. They ain't gonna have that live and all over TV. A testimony that the prosecution feels will be extremely helpful to the case. A former couple are also facing a slew of lawsuits because what's gonna happen is they're gonna offer him a deal and he gonna take it, and we ain't gonna never hear no more about it. The former couple are also facing a slew of lawsuits pertaining to feeding cupcakes filled with Dennis's sperm to Cynthia's class on 2 separate occasions in 2018 and 2019.
That is so disgusting.
One of the complaints alleges that the father of a student who ate the baked goods has fallen into a debilitating depression over the incident, while another lawsuit claims that a student and their parent have been afflicted by mental health and behavioral problems and have not been able to sleep since the cup. Yeah, how you gonna, you ate somebody's sperm? If y'all forbid, if that ever happened to me, I wouldn't want to know. It's like with them people, they didn't went crazy because they can't sleep, they can't stop thinking about it. It's bothering them to this day. I don't want to know. I'd be killed somebody for real. That's what'll make me feel better and sleep better, knowing that you are not living anymore. In a separate lawsuit filed last May, a parent of one of the middle school students alleged that Cynthia had showed the underage girl inappropriate pictures and that she also videotaped and photographed the minor. Listen, parents. This story combined with the next story please educate your children. Please talk to your children about these types of things, about what's appropriate and what's inappropriate for for other children, for other adults to deal with them. Please talk to them so that they know, listen, if anything like this happens, first of all, get away from them, and please come tell me, come let me know. Why is this woman showing this little girl pictures of herself nude and then getting nude pictures of the child? What we got to educate our children better than this, right? Um, what we about to find, I mean, the next story, man, you think this story is sad. What happens when people in the truth behave like this? Like, this stuff is crazy. Let's continue on.
Ooh, wee.
All of the lawsuit that have been filed are accusing the Livingston School Board of negligence. Well, yeah. Well, that's all that. Okay. Let's see here. Everything I do. Well, sis, what do you think about
Mhm.
that? Talk to the people for a second.
You already know. I am absolutely appalled and disgusted. And this has also, led me to realize that I may have a little bit more work with Abba to do because as I'm hearing this,
You want to hurt somebody?
I'm
You in
thinking of
rage right
physically
now?
hurting somebody. I'm like, you gonna feed my child? I I don't know what I would have done. Praise Abba. It was not me in that situation. I mean, it's disgusting. It is deplorable. And it's like it's what the scriptures describe because it's like we can't even fathom evil. Like who even thinks of that? Why would you do that? Like what would make you think of that? What would make you do that? What about that you pleases you? You know what I'm saying? It's just like I don't understand. So not only are you abusing these children sexually and taking advantage of these young minds aged 11 to 13, you are now feeding them semen filled cupcake for what? For what? Isn't it bad enough? Like, aren't you devilish enough for molesting them, sexually abusing them? Then you got to feed them semen. Like what? That was a lot. That was a lot, and I'm not really sure how to handle it. I'm.
Yeah, it's about to get worse.
I don't know if I should watch this because I don't know. You said it's in Georgia.
Yes.
I don't know if I should watch this.
Well,
I mean, I'm gonna watch it, but I don't know if I should.
now, disclaimer. Because I know when you're dealing with the truth and stuff, people get real political. And I want to say this is all alleged. It's all alleged. Now, when we get some proof and the facts of the case come out and people start coming forth, because it's been some kind of shadow on this story. When Joy Morgan died way over in Europe and was missing, this stuff flooded our timelines. Why ain't this flooding our timelines? Why ain't we seeing this everywhere? People been putting this on the hush. But here y'all's word on the street. We're gonna bring it out. Like I said, it's alleged. We're just gonna present it to you. I more so want to speak to the mindset of this, if it exists in other people in truth, right? And we have to be on guard. We have to be watchful, mindful, and discerning these kind of ruachs on people. So that's what I want to put out there. I'm not just condemning this man if he's innocent. If he's guilty, he ought to be hung up and bled slow. Uh, Special education assistant charged with child sex crime in Anderson. On February 12th, like I said, it's like 2 weeks old. I don't know why I ain't heard of it till now. The Anderson County, hold on. There's a video. I don't want to get flagged on YouTube for copyright, so I'm gonna just read it to y'all. Okay. On February 12th, the Anderson County Sheriff's Office opened an investigation into Simmons. Right. After further investigation, the Sheriff's Office has also charged Simmons with criminal sexual conduct with a minor. Simmons remains in the Anderson County Detention Center on no bond. Anderson, South Carolina. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not Georgia. South Carolina, sis.
That's still close, though.
A special education assistant was arrested and charged Sunday with criminal sexual conduct with a minor in Anderson. According to the Anderson Police Department, officers responded at 11:24 p.m. to Rebirth of a Nation Hebrew Church for criminal sexual conduct. Police arrested and charged Marcus Fulton Simmons with criminal sexual conduct of a minor. According to arrest warrants, Simmons did engage in sexual battery with a 6-year-old between October 1st, 2021 and December 31st, 2021 at a different location. Marcus Simmons was employed as a special education assistant at New Prospect Elementary School, but was terminated Monday, according to the Assistant District Superintendent for Anderson District 5. Once we found out that he had been arrested and charged, the principal reached out to the classroom that he worked in because obviously parents of children who would have been near this individual would want to know first foremost, said Cal Newton, Assistant Superintendent for Anderson School District 5. Newton said Simmons worked at the school for a few months. He said Simmons did not have any HR issues in the past. We have over 2,000 employees. They all have to pass background checks and do all of that, run through SLED, their information. Newton said, so everybody has to go through the same thing. There were no red flags or anything, Newton said. Abuse advocates have seen an increase in cases and calls. Foothills Alliance provides treatment to victims and survivors of sexual assault in Anderson and Oconee counties. Executive Director Chelsea Hooker said they've seen an increase in need of their services. We have seen an increase across the board in all of our services, with the only decrease in emergency room visitations. So what they're saying is they've seen an increase in child sexual assault cases in the past year, right? Hooker said, in our clinical department, we have seen a record number of referrals. We saw 279 last year versus the year before, where we received 88. So it went from 88 cases to 279 cases. She said it was a really big jump this past year, she said. Now, Hooker is asking people to pay attention to the signs. There are always signs. It could be easy to miss, especially in children, especially a child who may be nonverbal or who might be shy to begin with. Hooker said children don't often have the words to describe what is happening to them, nor should they, she said. Hooker said it's important to look out for changes in a child's behavior, mood, and personality. If you see something that seems suspicious, listen to your gut. Listen to the children in your life. You know them best, and you are best in a position to help them, Hooker said. Anderson Police Chief Jim Stewart said this is an ongoing investigation. So yeah, it's not a lot of information. It's not a lot of information on this particular story. He's been charged. I don't know how they learned of what he did, who told him, what he's accused of doing, or who told him. In our community, you got situations of, you know, people slandering stuff, people making up charges on people because of breakups, because of things. It's a lot of different things that could play into him being falsely accused. I just want to play the advocate here, but like I said, if this is true, you know, they said this happened between October and December in a different location, and he's a member of, how they said, Rebirth of a Nation Assembly. So he would have been trusted by the child's parents. You know, it's just something that, man, we really got to watch people and check for people's spirits, and be aware of just the possibilities, and know that this stuff is possible, man. This stuff is possible with different people. People got stuff on them. Parents are doing these things to children. Boyfriends, uncles, even women are molesting children too. It ain't just men. It's twofold. So, um, these things are common in the world, but we really like to think that this stuff don't happen once we come into an understanding of who we are as a people, who we are as, related to the Creator and the ordinances and statutes that He's given us. But if this story is true, then we got to do a better job of judging between ourselves. How can we say blame the white man, blame the police, blame the KKK, blame the Illuminati? A story like this ain't got nothing to do with the white man. Ain't got nothing to do with the Illuminati and the police. This is just iniquity. Like I said, if this story be true. So yeah, that's what I got. I told you it was gonna be a sad one. I told you.
Well, family, it's testimony time. So these hit really close to home. I haven't spoken much at all. I really haven't spoken at all, except for in very tight knit groups about my situation.
I can't believe you're about to do it now. You're about to do it now.
I mean, now is the time. Now is the time. I mean, I'm not gonna go into like detail, but this hits close to home. Because I was dealing with a divorce situation in which the other party is sexually attracted to children. And although I have laid no accusations against seeing anything physical, there were very concerning signs that I recognized and I had to take a stand for, because I recognized those signs. I recognized the grooming tactics, and I recognized the very odd behavior, and it did not sit right with my root. And so I had to cry aloud and spare not. And I have been literally battling for the past 3 years to protect my children. So these things, they're very serious. And this is by somebody who knows scripture up and down, would swear they got the Holy Ghost. We'll probably go over that next week. Very active in the community, very, all of these characteristic things that have played into a very significant portion of the situation that my children and I are facing, or have faced. And all esteem to Abi Muyawa. It is, he that is in control. It is he that sees and knows all things. And so we're thankful for the protection. We are thankful for being able to see and bear witness to these things before anything could happen. But in everything that we've read, in everything that the professionals.
Sis, we lost you. You got to, might have to go out, come back in, sis. So yeah, people, this whole thing about mental illness is really spiritual battles and demonic possession. We just gotta keep it real, man. You know, what would make a man or a woman desire to sleep with children or to hurt children? It's really demonic. And that's why we see these things. You know, there is a story about a family that was murdered and like a 4 or 5 year old child that was shot 5 times in the face. Demonic possession. You know, what would make someone shoot a child 5 times in the face? This is the world we living in today. You know, that's why we have to be on guard physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially. You know, we got to have our guard up, people. We got to have our guard up. And my sister, like I said, she's going through a very bad situation. You know, how she is on the internet, she's like this in real life, very vibrant, very happy, very passionate about the Most High YAH, very passionate about children. So for her to be going through what she's going through on a personal level, you know, it's heartbreaking to her, and it's heartbreaking for those of us who are close to her and who knows how you know, tube of a person she is to be afflicted with a situation like that. You know, so there she goes. Yeah.
Y'all know Hasatan is a liar. He don't like what I'm saying. Y'all already know.
I'll bring it
But
out.
it's important that we pay attention to these things. It is so like it's as you can see, it's gotten to the point where this wickedness, especially this type of wickedness, has gotten so bold to the point where it's like we've seen the increase of the cases. They talking about going from 88 of these cases to 279. That's a 200 case increase almost. That nothing like that should be happening. And we already know the agenda with the LGBTQ community trying to literally bring pedophilia into the acceptance. This not going to stand here. It's not going to stand here. So the video that I am going to bring out is a video about a child molester who is basically telling the trade secrets, how he grooms the children, how he picks out the types of children that he is going to molest. Mind you, these people are cowards. They are going to go after very vulnerable people, single mothers like myself, that I wasn't a single mother with my situation. However, you know, I'm even more on the lookout now because it's like people swoop in and want to be, oh, I can help you with this and I can help you with that, and all of these things, and really their intentions are very, very ill. So family, take it upon yourselves to learn the grooming habits, to learn the signs, to pay attention to your children. Okay. Take them out of these schools, homeschool them, be with them as much as possible, because this world is wicked. This world is wicked. And a lot of these people, like we see, even from Rebirth of a Nation, in my personal experience, these people will swear up and down that they are followers of the Most High. and they talk a good game. It's a good game. It really is. But the fruits are not worthy of repentance. They're not bearing fruits worthy of repentance, and we know them by their fruits. So pay attention, family. We've got to pay attention for the sake of these children. We have got to pay attention. We have got to cry aloud and spare not. You have to be willing to give up everything, literally, in order to protect these children. We have to be willing to suffer to the most consequence in order to protect the innocence of these children. We have to. We must. It is our duty.
And I want to throw out there the men of Yasharal too. We got to come together. We can't be. There needs to be a deep fear for people to do stuff like this. They need to be worried about the men of Yasharal finding out about stuff like this and what we'll do to them. The problem is there is none. You know why? Because there is no organization. There's no unified front. And I believe that the Most High Yah has a alt with us behind this. That's why he won't judge on our behalf. That's why he hasn't prospered us on a group level. True enough, individually, we come out from under these curses and do well, and our family becomes, edified and things like this. But as a nation, as a whole, on a mass deal of thousands and tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands, we don't see the progress because we got all these groups, we got all these doctrines. But yet when it comes to matters of the heart, when it comes to things like this, with children being molested, it's bad enough that the other nations do it. Imagine you found out this little Caucasian couple, some teacher and her sheriff husband. It should have been a group of fellas that go see that man and don't care nothing about no sheriff badge or none of that. Listen, we your judge, jury, and executioner. Ain't no going to jail. You going to hell. And that's the kind of mindset and righteousness now, not just to be seekers of blood. That is just when you make a person pay for their trespasses. That's called righteous judgment. Not just being angry about just any old thing and hurting somebody for nothing. No, we talking about real transgressions that a person do and making them pay for that in righteousness, man. We really got to get to that. And until we start to think on that level of caring for each other, we got to care for our children in this way. The nation ought to mourn for this. Got to be some accountability. And this stuff with Anderson, that's just cause this stuff get headlines because these are people of esteem. What about the people that's not of esteem? This little girl's being did like this every day. It's wives of Hebrew men being beat and dogged out because their husband possessed by demons. It's women emotionally traumatizing their husbands, telling them what they is, what they ain't. And the man, because of their hobble for his children, for his hobble for the covenant that he made with that woman, he stick and he stayed with her. But she beat him down. Where is the unity? Where is that man's shoulder he could cry on? Where is that sister's shoulder she could cry on? Like, we really got to do better, man. It's bigger than fringes and feast days. We need stories like this. We need shows like this where we go into the real sad things, man, the matters of the heart, things that cause us to really consider and things that sadden us. Because after we done getting sad, we got to think about solutions. Let's not wait until it knock on our door, until it comes, near our gates. It's a scripture that said, rejoice with them that rejoice and mourn with them that mourn. We got to get back really caring for each other. King David found out a man died. He ripped his clothes and put dust upon his head in mourning. He didn't die. His family members didn't die. They was all straight, but he mourned for the loss of one. It's like having 100 sheep, but being saddened because one of them gone. We got to get back to that, man. We don't care about it. We hate each other. We all removed from each other in the mindset of, well, that's sad.
Damn. Right.
Okay, what happened when it come to you and you traumatized and you destroy? You got to do better, family. But yeah, that's my presentation for the night.
Whew.
We
Well,
might need a song. Do we need a song? I think we need a song on this
no, we can't do a
podcast.
song yet because I'm finna go right back into. Let's do this first, and then we'll go to the song. That song gonna be useless if we.
All right, we'll find us one.
This is not that long, but I do want everybody to pay attention so we can note the signs, so that we can be aware. Okay. All right. All right. There we go. Salahi, let me mute.
Grooming. I would check out their family situation. I would check out their clothing to see how well they were, financially. I would check out their social interaction with other kids. When we were on the ballparks or on the gym floor, I would make sure which ones I wanted to molest. I would give them special attention, congratulate them, talk to them when I know that I would never be allowed to talk to anybody else. Aside from everybody, I would give them the attention that an official is not supposed to give anybody. And it made them feel like, wow, he's paying me attention. It is a direct form of grooming.
Were there certain characteristics that you looked for in children before molesting them?
In children, yes, but more, I also looked at their families. If I thought the father was a threat, I would not approach the child. If I thought that the child
And pause that thing.
would tell, I would not approach him.
Man, Abba didn't raise me up for a reason. Cause listen, I've been trying to tell people, man. Well, the Abba has pressed upon me to tell our men, man. Listen, man, it's all about us, man. We're hard about sisters and everything, but our nation failed because we failed as men, and our nation gonna have to rise because we rise as men. You heard what this man just said? If the father was a threat, I would not try the child. Same thing. Police abuse who they want, who they feel like they could get over on. I know some places in the ghetto, they not finna come do nothing. They not coming acting a fool. If they come, they gonna come deep to get one man. Because they know if they came by themselves, he gonna whoop one of them, he gonna shoot one of them. Or it's a whole gang of them who gonna shoot something. We gotta put a fear and a reverence in these people's hearts, man, with action. I'm telling you, man, the men gotta rise up. Anyway, go ahead, sis. Play it.
I would not.
Play it back a little bit. Go back like a little taste. Yeah.
He's paying me attention. It is a direct form of grooming.
Were there certain characteristics that you looked for in children before molesting them?
In children, yes, but more, I also looked at their families. If I thought the father was a threat, I would not approach the child. If I thought that the child had friends that he would tell, I would not approach him. If I thought the child had friends that were in the same capacity he was, I would approach him, for the simple fact that if I could molest him, I could lure him into believing, grooming him into believing that he would enjoy it. And therefore, I can manipulate him into having his other friends come and be molested by me as well.
So perhaps a child that doesn't really have a whole lot of friends, maybe not really a strong family, things like that.
Yes, no spiritual values, weak in education, needs help in many ways, even from
I also want to point out what he specifically said about no spiritual values. I think that is something to really be emphasized upon. Although we obviously see it in our community, as what Agbi shared, that his super close to home. But it's important to have a community. It's important to have each other and to truly ahab each other and ahab our neighbors as ourselves to prevent things like this from happening.
Split parenting, has a mother who may be having problems with the family, well, here comes superhero in to help out, wow, well, thank you very much. No problem. You ever need me to take them away for the night so you can have a night out? No problem. It works.
This is something that man shows that's painfully clear. There is a technique to molesting children that many know, and the sad part about it is that it works. It works enough that it's happening all over the country. And it happens for years and years and years and years, and nobody knows anything about it until by happenstance they get caught. This is a problem. What are these children missing that a stranger could come and give them comfort and give them ease enough to give their bodies away to them? It works with adults. Men have techniques to get women in the bed. There has to be, like he said, where there is a lack of spirituality and spiritual conviction. That's where he go in and he try his little hand at. So you know what that means? There needs to not be a lack of spiritual conviction. There needs to not be a lack of morality. There needs to be men, real men with spiritual conviction in connection to this family. If not the head of the family, at least covering the family, at least an aid to the family. And that needs to be known. And I'm telling you, man, there's a reason why Peter said, let's pull it up about what he said about real religion. True religion and undefiled. Oh, I'm sorry. It wasn't Peter. It was James. Pure religion and undefiled before YAH and the Abba is this: to visit the fatherless. It's these children without daddies. So there will always be a strong hand in their life.
Hallelujah.
That they're not raised up solely by women.
Hallelujah.
To visit the fatherless and the widows. That's the woman without the firm hand of a husband in her life because he's passed away, or he's been incarcerated, or he's been murdered or killed, or because he just ain't there in this day and age. In our ancestors' time, that was unheard of. You'd be a mockery. To visit the fatherless and the widows in their affliction. You know what their affliction is? The lack of a man.
But covering, that's right.
The lacking of a covering. and to keep himself unspotted from the world. I'm telling you, man, the stuff is bigger than fringes and feast days, man. It's bigger than fringes and feast days. It's bigger than not eating pork, shrimp, catfish. It's about living, man. It's about living. We need to start hearing more. I mean, y'all forbid that these things continue to happen. But let's be honest. Until we start to live like James 1 says, these things are going to continue to happen. Until the righteous men stand up and be a steadier part of the lives of children and women, the fatherless children, being fathers to their own children, first off, and then fathers to the fatherless children, and being coverings to the widows or to the single sisters, the single women, which for all intents and purposes are widows. You know, let's just be honest. Uh, we're gonna continue to see what we see. Matter of fact, it's gonna get worse. So, men that watch this stuff, man, they waiting on us. They waiting on us, man. We got to put our differences down. That's what the Hebraic Men's Gathering is all about. That's what a lot of any kind of a men's gathering should be, to promote this kind of stuff. Sisters, we need the women to come together too, to be more sisterly, man. I don't know what it is about the young sisters, but I don't. There's a untrust, a deep untrust for large numbers of sisters to come together. At best, you get maybe 5 or 10 of them together, and they be cool. But talking about getting 50, 100 sisters together in sisterhood, listen, camel can get through the eye of a needle.
There is a sister brunch that's going on in Atlanta this weekend, and I assume that about 50 to 100 sisters will be there. I saw the pictures
Hopefully.
last year. There were a lot. There were 50 to 100 last year. So I'm willing. It'll be the same
It's
outcome.
another thing to come together and feast. Our people good about having a party. We talk about being a part of each other's lives. Now, even on the men's side, even at the Hebraic Men's Gathering, we had brothers to come together. But as far as all of us being a part of each other's lives, it didn't happen like that.
Right.
I still talk with quite a few of the brothers, but not with all of them that attended.
Right.
Just because a lot of us aren't used to being close with each other. We aren't used to affection for real. We aren't used to having to reach out and make ourselves vulnerable to one another. We always on guard. And I just, I come to say, what do we got to lose? That's man getting up. I thought he was
like, what is you looking at?
roll out the bed over there. You gotta watch man. He be quick with it.
Straight rolling.
Yeah. But yeah, man. Even me, man, I'm not used to affection. I learned how to be alone. I learned how to not get close to people because I used to move a lot. We was in Section 8 housing in the ghetto. When you're in Section 8 in the ghetto, this where all the poor single mothers come. And the boyfriends used to be connected to the streets, connected to drugs, a lot of drug dealing, a lot of shooting and killing. So we moved to another one, and we moved to another. So I've been to like 13 schools. So I just learned not to get close to people because, like, I'm not going to be dealing with you too long anyway. It ain't my fault. My mama like to move. So it is what it is. So even in my adulthood, I just never really, learned how to build long-lasting relationships like that. And I think a lot of us have that same deal, if not from having my kind of background, just from being crossed by so many different people, or making yourself vulnerable to people and people taking advantage of your kindness. That is a big problem in our community.
Yeah.
So
How about that song?
calling all the ride or die sisters and brothers out there. That's right.
Yes, 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 Mama.
So yes, let's play a song that kind of embodies what we are talking about. We need to establish amongst each other. My Ak Hezekiah. Seemed like he's been a big part of my playlist since I heard about him.
Bruh, he is awesome.
Yes.
Literally, he is awesome. I really enjoy his music.
I do too. He's got good content. He got good choruses. He got good beats.
Right.
You know,
and the
totally.
way he says his words, I'm just like, oh man, he be hitting. It be all up in the root. Yes.
Yeah, so this is kind of a Ruach builder, you know what I'm saying? Because of these heavy stories we brought to you tonight. So please enjoy Hezekiah, love, or Ahaba, as we say.
The easy truth. Thus said the Most High, what iniquities have your fathers found in me?
Got a question for my people. Do you really know love? You open up your eyes this morning, he woke you up. That's a blessing from the heavens, my people look up above. Appreciate creation, man, show the Father some love. I feel when we first came in the truth, that's love. Man, it feel like the Father reached out and gave us a hug. The Father so set apart, but put his hands in the mud. Like he done had enough, let me show my people some love. Got a problem with your brother, no gossip, go pull him up. This time we going to hell, we at the end, let go the grub. No more slavery this time, souls gonna be burning up. Now you in hell forever, cause you ain't show no love. So I can say you know they my disciples when they love. How the ants could come together, but we can't, they bug. Messiah laid his life down, he showed us what it was. He ain't stone that lady, y'all, he showed us some love. Don't talk about your sister, Cody, go help her, Go motivate your sister, she done been through enough. The truth that made us realize that we fail, we blood. The 12 tribes of Israel need to show each other love. For your fruits, you ain't gonna know what man by what he say, but what he do. Killing all them animals that killed the one in you. Tell the truth, they never made our heart brand new. What's love? What's love? What's love? Gotta keep a gun on me, cause I ain't show no love. Forgive me for my past, father, try and be a thug. I got a good heart, but it been strapped on like a rug. But I'ma still show him love. Keeping these commandments is the way we show him love. Seeing this creation come together, real love. We was put here to show these nations who he was. What happened when the world said the Israelites love? I know all the valleys in the world, I told you. Even though I threw you in the mud, I rolled you. Keep these laws and commandments, do what you supposed to. And that's love, 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 love.
Like this.
It's just different.
Hallelujah.
Ooh, this my jam too.
Let the Ruach lead you on a new path. The Most High sees you. He's holding your hand. He's walking with you, making sure you don't trip or stumble. Don't go the wrong way. Trust in God's ways. You gotta speak life when it looks too bad. Speak life even more when it looks so good. He sees you. Believe who came and died and rose again. Why don't you speak life? Speaking from the court of soul. Why don't you speak life? Speak it, speak it. Why don't you speak life? Speaking from the court of soul. Why don't you
you speak life? Tell me why don't you believe in everything that he's giving you? Let me take you to this water and rebirth you again. It's a part of his plan. You got a mission, and you gotta eat it. You gotta do his will. If you love God, then keep his commandments. I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life. I'm trying to show you how to live righteous. We gotta fight for this here. Understand what we doing. God's will create righteousness in your heart, yeah. Why don't you speak life? Speak it from the core of soul. Why don't you speak life? Speak it, speak it. Why don't you speak life? Speak it from the core of soul. Why don't you speak life? Speak life, speak life. Speak life, speak life. Sweet love from above.
Why don't you speak life?
Man, that be my jam. I be detangling the children's hair. My Sharab be all up on my playlist, like every time. You know, it take me some hours to do their hair, so
Definitely.
well, hi.
So yeah, that's a little lighter, a little upbeat. Okay, for crazy. Our Aquaban has sent me. They have Little People Boxing. There's a Little People Boxing League.
Who authorized this? Like, who said that this was okay? Why?
These old extra swole little
right? Like, nah.
Weird. So I might check that out though. I'm gonna be honest with you. It looks a little intriguing. But yeah, man, we kind of early on the podcast.
This is the shortest podcast we have ever done.
No, we've done shorter.
Have we?
As far as both of us being here and everything, like, yeah, this is one of the shortest.
Yeah, because I'm like, bro, 2 hours and 22 minutes. That's it. That's it.
That's it.
And we're done. Like, I don't have nothing else for y'all. Them things was heavy though. I think that was a decent amount of time.
Yeah. Shalom to the children. What's going on, Dawid?
Right. They just got back
your
down
little
here.
Truth ain't slowed you down none. You're not all sad and depressed.
None. Look at him.
Where is Zazie? Zazie's missing.
She's on the ground patting her belly. She still got gas.
Get that girl some apple juice.
Poor baby. I know. I gave her some ginger tea. She's feeling a little bit better, but I guess she's like, she ain't feeling. She an old lady. She probably tired anyway. We went, like I said, we went to the park earlier today, and she tuckered out. This one's still going, but she was like, I'm ready to leave.
That'll do it.
Yeah, we're about out of time. That's what you said.
Well, man, shout out to all the street team members, man.
Yes. Toda y'all for joining us always.
You know,
I know, Gavin.
Podcasts,
it's usually 5 hours.
They do podcasts like us and everything, but people don't be having people stick for 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. A good 8
We got riders
to ride all the way through, man. We appreciate y'all, man. Indigenous Hair been riding with us for a minute.
Yes.
Rondo. Gavin Miller.
Yes.
Gavin says usually it's like 5 hours.
I know, right?
He knows it.
BJ Hicks been on here. Casey been on here.
Yeah, Casey's
Been a whole lot of
been a
folks
rider.
up in here. And our new street teamer, just living my life for YAH.
She's in Africa. I think she's she's either on the south side or the east side.
I think east is what she said last
Where
time.
you at? Just living. You in South Africa?
Street teamer.
Whatever happened to them kicking all the white folks out of South Africa? What happened with that?
I don't know, but Toda oil of I definitely have oregano oil. I usually use it like when they get the sniffles or when I think something's coming on because it's a really excellent antimicrobial. But I'll give her that too and see if her stomach is better. What you eating, girl?
What part are you in?
Are you done with the podcast?
Almost.
We love to interact with y'all. Indigenous the
Right.
way we interact with them is bomb. I mean, you know.
Yeah, how about y'all? For real though. Like for real though. And we really enjoy interacting with y'all. Like it's what really keeps this going. Cause like we just sitting there talking to ourselves. Like, I mean, that's cool, but we do that like on a regular call anyways. So like we wouldn't need to be doing anything with it. So bringing y'all into the conversation and being able to share different perspectives and hear y'all's perspectives and, you know, get more fuller understanding with y'all and what y'all have to say, man, this is what it's about and it's necessary. So we appreciate y'all.
Sister, she's in the east side. She in Tanzania. Tanzania is almost purely African American over there right now, from what I've been hearing.
Listen, let me go on to Tanzania, start feeding some giraffes from my balcony. Y'all think I'm playing? I got plans.
Let me get my passport back, and I'm gonna be ready to go somewhere myself.
Yes.
If anything, I just want to go visit. Even if I don't stay, I just want to go and see what it's like to see nothing but black people everywhere.
Okay.
Atlanta's kind of like that, but it's like
it is. Atlanta's got
people.
a lot of
Africans. You're gonna see Haitians, Jamaicans.
Oh yeah, go to the east side. It's all Jamaicans.
In Atlanta.
East side is all Jamaicans. Then you see the Haitians usually on the south side,
and a lot of Mexicans. Is there too. More so in like those suburb areas. But you see a lot of nice
Buford Highway.
I'm in Missouri where it's kind of mixed, but it's mostly white people here. So, you know, you see all the Lexuses and Benzes and Porsche Cayenne trucks and all that. It's filled with white people. You go to Atlanta, it's all black people driving them cars.
Oh yeah.
You know.
I be seeing like top of the line. I be seeing Rolls Royces, Bentleys, just full of black people. I be like, wow. Shalom. Shalom. Yeah, it'd be wild. It'd be so wild. So wild.
So said, come on, look at use our roots there.
Yes. Listen.
Man, right now,
Abba
I feel like Abba's sending me to some of the worst places. I'm going to Nazareth in Galilee to talk to these people. Man. It's like that in Houston, Texas. Oh, yeah. Yep. Houston is another one where it's big. I haven't been to Houston, but I heard about it. Dang, babe.
I remember the people said eat it.
Eat it.
I
was off mute. Yeah. You ever seen somebody sleep just all across the bed? You know, they flipping and flopping. 1 minute the leg hanging off, next minute the head hanging off the other end.
That's how my children sleep. They wake up with their heads on the foot of the bed. I'm like, how did y'all do this? Like, what happened?
Twisting, turning. That's what my wife doing right now.
Y'all be sleeping the wrong way, and just I don't know what y'all be doing.
Be
feet all up in my face. I'm like, bruh, really? Get your feet up my face.
Like we be kicking you.
Okay, so Gavin's in
the
Houston
night.
along with Indigenous Hairs in Houston.
Oh, I didn't know you were in Houston, Gavin.
We be taking.
Shout out to Emanuel Yasharala. He's in Dallas, I
Mhm.
think. He could be in Houston. Where's Emanuel at?
Yeah, he's in Houston.
Emanuel is in Houston. Oh, Gavin is in Louisiana.
That's what I
Yeah.
was about to say. I thought he was with Pastor Isaacs.
Well, he close. He close to Texas. Right next door.
Yeah.
We don't really have any more. Well, I do got another story, man. Since y'all hanging in here with us, the street team, we wanna keep y'all full. Y'all riding, we riding. I ain't gonna lie, I kind of want to go sleep on y'all. But
Bruh, listen, I got
listen.
one more in me.
Listen, China could be about to join Russia in the shenanigans.
Ooh.
You know, China's the big dog. So China's got 1 million men in their army.
We can't even get 1 million men together for the 1 million man march.
No, it was like a couple 100,000. It was not 1 million men.
Bruh.
All right, y'all. So let's talk about China creeping up on Taiwan. For those of you who don't know, China used to own Taiwan, and at some point they split. They split just like Russia and Ukraine split. Now, Russia wants Ukraine back. So at the same time Russia's trying to get Ukraine back, China's slipping up on Taiwan. Taiwan reports 9 Chinese aircraft in defense zone. So y'all can see, hopefully y'all can see that. Taiwan's defense ministry on Thursday said that 9 Chinese aircraft had entered its air defense identification zone just hours after Russia had launched an invasion into Ukraine. The ministry said that the mission involved 8 J-16 sorties and 1 Y-8 reconnaissance aircraft. The ministry also released the flight paths of the aircraft and said they flew over an area to the northeast of Taiwan. Hold on. I'm trying to get this centered just right. Okay. To the northeast of Taiwan controlled Pratas Islands, Reuters reported. In response, Taiwanese fighters were deployed to warn the Chinese aircraft, and air defense missiles were scrambled to monitor the activities, the ministry said, according to the Newswire. This comes just a day after China's foreign ministry on Wednesday said Taiwan is not Ukraine and has always been a part of China amid Taiwanese President Tsai Ing-wen's call for increased vigilance of military activities in response to the crisis in Ukraine. I told you, China like Ukraine is ours. I mean, no. China is like Taiwan is ours. And Taiwan is like, no, we're not. And China's like, yeah, you are. You know what I'm saying? Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Hui Chunying dismissed concerns of British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who said there might be worldwide consequences, including for Taiwan, if Western nations failed to support Ukraine's independence. The reason why this is a problem is that America backs Taiwan being independent from China, and China has always had a problem with that. China don't like the fact that America backs Taiwan, just like America backs Ukraine. It seems like America is really playing a part in these other nations' business that they should be playing. So just something to think about. Taiwan is not Ukraine, who have said while speaking in Beijing, Taiwan has always been an inalienable part of China. That is an indisputable legal and historical fact. Ing Wen told her working group on the Russia-Ukraine crisis established by her National Security Council that all security and military units must raise their surveillance and early warning of military developments around the Taiwan Strait, Reuters reported. In December, a U.S. defense official said there was an urgent need to enhance defenses in Taiwan as the threat of China annexing the country was real and dangerous. See, Taiwan is worried about China coming in and taking them back like Russia is trying to take back Ukraine. Bolstering Taiwanese defenses in an urgent task, said Eli Ratner, an assistant Secretary of Defense for the Indo-Pacific Security Affairs. We are modernizing our capabilities, updating U.S. force posture, and developing new operational concepts. See, America is got a stake in both of these situations. So just putting it out there, that's something nobody's really talking about. Everybody's talking about Ukraine and World War III. But I want to tell people this. None of this stuff is our business. I just would that our people be stocked up on food, be stocked up on water, be stocked up on basic tools, because you never know what you might end up having to do. You need some axes, you need some shovels, you need some, things in case they do come and destroy cities and towns and you end up in the woods somewhere. Well, what are you going to do? You going to build a shelter? What are you going to build it with? Like, we got to start thinking, because this is the thing. A lot of these people don't really care about when other countries invade. It's not so much about the people. It's about the rulers of the people. So all the people that's in these high positions, the politicians, the, ruling people, first they come to get the military, okay? All your National Guards, all your sheriffs, all your highway patrolmen, all your police departments, all your fire, they gonna bomb these places, okay? And when they come doing their business, don't get in their way, right? That's what they're doing in Ukraine right now. They bombing all the military installations. They're not killing the people. If you got, army trucks, you got missile systems over here, they bombing that. Then they come in later. They will come in later on the ground and put boots on the ground. And, anybody that's causing problems, they're going to kill them. That's coming. But right now, they're knocking out all the military deals. So, and oftentimes they stop supplies from coming in. Ain't gonna be no food coming in. Ain't no food trucks coming in. Ain't no, all these different things. You cut off supplies when you surround them. Usually they come in and surround the country all the way around. That's what happened with Jerusalem. We got surrounded by, the Romans, by the Ishmaelites, by the Idumeans and all that. They came confederate with these people. They starved us out. They made us starve. While starving, we ended up getting sick, just like the Most High said was going to happen, from the deadly pestilence, which is us getting sick, from the famine, which was the fact that they starved us out, and then from the sword, when they came in and killed everybody who took up arms against them, and they took everybody else into captivity, and many people ran into Africa. Many of us got shipped into Africa, and that's what That's just how war is. If you don't understand war, you weaken the people first before you come in. And that's what we're seeing on TV now with Ukraine and Russia. It's just the beginning. It got a long way to go. And apparently China's considering doing the same thing to Taiwan. The crazy part about this is that America has been threatening these people for the longest to not do what they're about to do. Oh, you better not. You're going to have problems with America. And now they talking about we ain't got nothing to do with that. Biden, we're not sending American troops in. We're just going to put restrictions on Russia and all. Russia like, we don't care nothing about that. I can't hear you, sis. You muted.
I was just laughing like, yeah, we don't care. And like,
All right. What I'll say. 1 Kings and 3. What's 1 Kings and 3? Let's pull it up real quick. So yeah, this ain't our business, man. Either or. Let me tell you something about Russia. As I understand it, Russia is the only place where you can find Black biblical relics. You know how in the Catholic Church or whatever, they got the pictures of apostles and all that, and they white. When you go to Russia, they're Black. Russia is the only Caucasian country that did not participate in the slave trade. As I understand it, Russia never owned slaves. Russia was the first to integrate Blacks into their military. Things like that. So, don't be bothering them Russians. Don't be talking about them folks on social media. None of that. You never know. You might have to go see them one day, or they might come see you. Just mind your business, basically. Just mind your business. This is white folks' problem. This
mind
white
your
on white
business.
crime. Okay?
Mind your business.
Do not involve yourself in white on white crime.
Yeah, for real.
1 Kings 3.
This is like always what I be saying. Like, man, also in 2 Chronicles and 20, when Yahweh made their enemies turn against each other and destroy themselves. And Yasharal didn't even have to fight, like at all. They fasted, powwowed, and praised, and literally did not lift a finger. And then after all their enemies killed each other, they went and gathered the spoil. And it was so much spoil that it took 3 days for them to gather it. And they still didn't even get it all. I'm like, we just finna sit back and watch these people go at it with each other. And then the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous. Because they're going to be gone. They done killed each other.
And
now I have no more loose.
And then too, we always have to ask ourselves, which this accident, I had a car wreck and everything a couple months ago. This has caused me to be mindful of like, what is y'all trying to do, right? Because it was many times I was frustrated, I had issues, but y'all ended up creating fruit out of situations that I was frustrated and had issues with. So, we got to consider y'all. That's what was great about King David. He considered y'all, in every aspect except when he got to dealing with Bathsheba. That's why I said I don't even want to meet no woman like that. That make a man turn from his arbor like that. Listen. She was way too much. She was way too much. But yeah, consider
Yah's Healing Ministry did a study. Oxlakea did a study on integrity regarding that very situation. And it was crazy because, it's like we all know, what happened. We know that we slept with Uriah's wife and then had him killed. But it's like I hadn't really gone into detail and like read through it in so long with the understanding that I now have. And it was like Dawid was so trifling. Like, and I have Dawid, you know what I'm saying? He was trifling. And the crazy thing about it was like it was like because he had participated in the lack of integrity, he therefore couldn't even see that he was being so trifling. Like it was like he didn't even know until Nathan the prophet, of course, brought it to him. And then, it was almost like Nathan the prophet was testing to see if he still had any integrity left in him to be able to rebuke him. Or was he going to be like King Saul? Zeruiah. Enough. Anyways, it was as if I'm like, what in the world? Zeruiah. Thank you, ma'am.
I think she's really
hot. It was as if he was testing him to see if he still had any integrity left as to whether or not he could rebuke him or not. But it just was so crazy to me that he like couldn't even see. Like he was gone off the lack of integrity. He was gone off the wickedness. And it's just like, it lets you know, like, don't even play with it. Don't like, it's like, and like I said this on the call too, it's like that meth commercial, like not even once, don't even play with it because it will literally have you blinded and in a damn near reprobate state. If Dawid had not been the person who he was before that incident, who was a man after Yahweh's heart, he would have been gone. He would have been so far gone off the wickedness. He would have been gone.
She was literally dope.
Bruh, literally. Because that man was
drunk, but not with wine.
He tried several times to set Uriah up. He was like, go back home, to try to cover it up, make Uriah sleep with her so it looked like it was Uriah's child. I'm like, dang.
Look, Uriah should have broke him down. That's how you know he was drunk, because, the man, he tried to send the man home. They in the middle of a war. Uriah like, I can't go sleep with my wife when my comrades is out there fighting.
Right.
David like, yeah, you can.
Yes, you can. Go home and wash your feet. Go home and wash your feet. Got that man drunk. Man. Go home. Go home, Roger. Man, still wouldn't go home.
It's a he slept at the gate or something like that. Passionate, zealous for the and he was a stranger. All these people talking about, Israel only and all this stuff. Uriah was he was a Hittite, wasn't he? Uriah the Hittite, ain't that what they call him?
Yeah, and he was a Hittite.
He's a stranger.
He wasn't even Yasharah, but he was with it. He was about it. He was about it.
So was Bathsheba a Hittite or was she from Yasharah?
I don't know.
Which is a whole other line of questioning, because why is strangers marrying the daughters when is that lawful?
That I don't know.
It don't really say where she was from. And then, because if she wouldn't, why is he marrying her?
Right. Either way, it's like, wait a minute, that's a Hittite. Yeah. And if she's not a Hittite, why is she married to a Hittite?
And why is no one ever talking about this?
That's a
no one question. Brings this up. They always want to talk about the whole, adultery thing, but nobody talks about like, hey, none of these people are from Israel, or if she is, why is she married to him? And if she's not, why is David marrying her?
It's like the whole Ruth the Moabite thing, because it's like, is she a Moabite? And if she is,
Crystal Johnson say Marie Flora, Aquin.
Why you gotta say my whole name?
You got way too much name.
Why you got to say the whole thing though?
I thought you said Mari Flo is like how they say it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I was saying. Mari Flo.
But you read my whole name, like
because it's there. I try to read what the sister put. Mariaquin Quarles missed way too much.
yeah, you and Akeem came in late. But there's no jibby jab stippy stab talk in this one, so Abba willing it won't get taken down. Y'all should be able
Yes.
to catch the replay.
We are suspended on our YouTube channel, so I ended up sharing it to my YouTube. And if you want to go back to watch this podcast, but you don't want to watch it on Facebook because, you know, if you get knocked out, you got to start over from scratch, you know, and all that. So
I said it's
go
not
to my page, Brandon Lewis, on Facebook, and you should see the link. As a matter of fact, the link is also in the YAH's Word on the Street podcast Facebook page. So if you go there, you can find a link to this video in YouTube, and it should stay up. There's no reason to ban us or, you know,
this
say
time.
that we went against any kind of deals. You know what I'm saying? Because they be on us, man.
They really do.
You'd be hard pressed to
Be
find
like-
podcasts who've been flagged as much as us about
in such a short amount of time. Like,
listen, on Facebook, all our episodes ain't on there, but it's more than is on YouTube. YouTube, we probably got 7 episodes. This episode 32. So you do the math. Crystal says she's gonna catch the replay. Okay, Toda.
yay.
So
Don't take nothing out. We finna go to bed.
Street team, we tried to stretch y'all out for 3 hours. We kind
of made it. It's close.
Finna let y'all go. This is, you know, usually by this time we probably try to bring y'all in or something like that when we have an early deal, but no, not tonight.
I'm tired. I gotta go to bed.
See?
I need to go night.
I do.
So yes, children.
Yes.
Children. Street kids. Y'all the street kids.
That sounds horrible.
The street kids. We got the street team and the street kids.
Street kids.
But it's YAH's Word on the Street. Street team. YAH's Word on the Street. Street kids.
That's a whole lot of words.
Y'all gonna pray us out so we can close out. Usually y'all sleep. We have to do it, but if you're up,
come on, let's pull out.
Come on, Zazie.
This boy over here.
You're not your usual vibrant self. We ain't seen a smile or nothing.
I know. He's hype. He's sleeping. She's tired.
The same way. When he's like sleepy or if he's sick or something, it's just hard because he's so active usually.
Right. But when she down, she down. What?
Now you acting like man.
Right. Look at her face. Like a big old baby. Look at this 3-year-old sitting on my lap like this big old girl.
He was biggin'.
Big. Just big.
Dawee, what you doing, man? Get on up. Come on with it, man. You gotta leave. You gotta do the thing.
Come on.
I'll have to go get another chair.
No, we're only Polaline. Come on. Come on. I'm ready for bed. I'm like, listen.
I'm trying to get a chair now. You don't need no chair.
Yeah, I'm like, you don't need no chair. We've been night. Shalom, everyone. Okay. All right. Go ahead. Let's pull out.
Okay.
Rashid.
Abi Sabah Samai Eat Kudas Samka Tabua Malkutka Yasha Watunka Kabas Samain Kanbalas Atlakam Akuntan Nanu Hayu Usalak Nanu Alatainu Kapi Sasukinga Anaknu Lakat Ainanu He's not saying. Kalsan manhara. Kilaka mamlaka. Uhagabua. Ulatapala. Auni. Aunami. Amen.
Oh my! Hey, now listen
He
now.
is so like
Street kids. I'm gonna need y'all to put a little bit more pep in you now. What is going on? That was one of the blandest. Y'all done done this many times. Y'all are not rookies. No. I'm like, ooh, please feel better.
Okay, we all
Last week y'all was screaming at the top of your lungs saying the prayer.
screaming,
And this week, look
screaming.
at you.
Okay, so we got to get it together.
I can't say baby girl barely holding on. Yes, she
Yeah,
is.
bro, she's done.
Dawid, what's your excuse being so low?
I'm really tired and
You was just doing
Nah,
flips off
y'all
the
done
couch,
did
bro.
prayers at 12
Like we
o'clock
have
at
you
night.
on camera. You gonna lie like that?
It is about 12 o'clock at night over there now.
don't know
Mhm.
why.
All right, it's cool. Do better next week. I believe.
Okay. So we gonna be better.
All right, thank y'all for joining us for y'all's Word on the Street podcast, episode 32. If you're just joining us, please go back and watch it. You can catch us on y'all's Word on the Street podcast Facebook page. We do have a YouTube page entitled Y'all's Word on the Street, but we are banned from there at the moment. We're on restriction.
Don't search
We
for
in
us.
YouTube jail. So this podcast is streaming to my personal YouTube channel, Brandon Lewis. There's a link to it on the Y'all's Word on the Street Facebook page. So go there, look for the post with the link, and you can see this on YouTube. You know, because if you're like me and you pay for YouTube to not have all the video, to have all the interruptions and all that. I hate commercials. I'm not a commercial guy. I hate the fact that I paid $10 a month and now they put commercials in the podcast. They're doing advertising. Oh yeah, this episode is brought to you by such and such. Like, man, damn. I paid to not hear commercials, and now y'all verbally doing commercials now.
Right. First, a word from our sponsors.
No, they the commercial. The people that do the podcast and stuff,
Right.
they do the commercials.
Dang.
Imagine I was like, this episode is brought to you by
my sponsors.
the Light Magazine. But before, the Light Magazine did its own commercial.
Right.
But because they know I paid to not have to see that, now I bring you the commercial now. I said, man, that is crazy. But yeah, that's what they're doing. So thank y'all for joining us, man. We hope this was an edifying, I won't say uplifting. Well, we tried to uplift after saddening you.
Right. At least it was educational.
Education. I hope it was educational.
We pull out.
And please like, share, subscribe, share it with friends and family. We got a slew of episodes between Spotify. You can find us on Spotify, Y'all's Word on the Street. We got episode 1 through 7 on Spotify. We got different episodes on YouTube. And we got different episodes on Facebook. You can't find all of the episodes nowhere. Because they restrict us and they ban us for different stuff.
But you know what? Soon they will all be on Nasaya TV. And you'll be able to watch them freely there because that's a Hebrew owned network and they really rock with us. And so they'll be uploading pretty much all of the episodes there, all of the ones that we still have.
I actually got on StreamYard. I got all of them, but
Oh,
you know,
sweet. Okay, so
because the
they'll all
problem
be
with
on the
loading them
side
all up,
TV. That
it's hard to
will
load them all
be
up because it's
played.
5 and 6 hour episodes. So I
You
tried to
can
put them on like
you should be able to drop them in the little Dropbox thing that Ezra sent us. I don't know. We'll have
I
to
don't
hit him
know.
up
I
again.
gave him all the information so he could log into the account and
Oh,
download
okay.
them directly.
Oh yeah, we straight. He'll do that because
So
I'm definitely not the one. Do
no,
not
I'm
ask
not
me to
the
do
one either.
anything tech
Why
ever.
you think I gave this man my passwords?
Yeah,
I'm just like,
because
you go
I'm
handle
not
it.
the one. I am not the one, and we are not the two. No.
Yeah, so shout out to Nasia TV.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Nasia
shout out to them.
TV.
They also have a Facebook page. You can go check them out.
Yes.
It's a lot of Hebrew content, more than just ours. So a lot of
A
stuff
lot.
there. So check them out. So yeah, thank y'all for joining us. Abba willing, we'll see y'all next
Where's my
week.
stomach?
Next week should be next week's gonna be new moon for us. So we should have a double. We should
Yeah.
have 2 episodes next week.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
That came so fast.
We'll have our last Shabbat and then we'll have a new moon. So
Already?
yeah.
That's cool though.
If I'm
I
not
enjoyed them
mistaken,
2 days off.
let me
Shoot.
check. Because we just had full moon last week. And then we got this
Yeah,
week.
and then
Next week is
Shabbat
the last one.
today. Yep, it should be new moon next week.
Yeah, so we should have a double episode next week, y'all willing. Hopefully we'll turn one of those into a chop up. So you guys can come on and we'll talk about some kind of hot topic or something. We'll come up with something. I'll be willing. So be ready to kind of hop on the podcast this time next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all right, thank y'all. Y'all have a tube night. Be safe. Be in a harbor towards yourself and towards each other, and of course towards the Most High Yah. And we'll see y'all later. It's 12 tribes.
One nation!
Oh, that time. See, she even got